everyone, welcome. This is the story A Gift of Chapels from Class 7 English NCERT. Here Mridu is a young girl who is growing up in Madras and which is now called Chennai with Tapi, her grandmother, and Tata, her grandfather. After one afternoon, Tapi takes her to her aunt Rukumani's house to meet her cousins Lalli, Ravi and Meena. So the story goes like this. A smiling Rukumani threw open the door. So threw open the door is, opening the door suddenly. So threw open the door. Ravi and Meena, they rushed out and Ravi pulled Mridu into the house. So what Ravi did is Ravi pulled Mridu into the house. Okay, wait, let me take off my slippers, protested Mridu. Mridu is telling, let me take off my slippers. You are entering the house with slippers. She set them out neatly near a pair of large black ones. Those were grey actually with dust. You could see the clear mark of every toe in front part of each slipper. The marks for the two big toes were long and scrawny. It was very sharp, very long and scrawny. Mridu didn't have much time to wonder about whose slipper they were, because Ravi dragged her to the backyard behind the thick bitterberries bush. So there were bitterberry and what Ravi did is Ravi dragged Mridu again. There, inside a torn football lined with sacking and filled with sand, lay a very small kitten lapping up milk from coconut half shell. So from coconut half shell was trying to take the milk. We found him outside the gate this morning. He was mewing and mewing, poor thing, said Meena. So Meena is telling, so this poor thing was lying outside, so we felt very pity. It is a secret. Amma says Pati will leave for our Padumamma's house if she knows we have a cat. So we need to be very careful. So Amma is mother. Mother is saying to Pati, grandparent. Okay, grandmother. So Amma says like Pati, the grandparent will leave for our Padumamma's house if she gets to know there is a cat. Okay. Now people are always telling us to be kind to animals, but when we are, they scream. So it's very scary, People are saying be kind to animals, and if we try to make them as pet, they are going to scream at us. Oh, don't bring that dirty creature here, said Ravi. Do you know how hard it is to get a little milk from the kitchen? Pati saw me with a glass in my hand just now. I told her I am hungry. I want to drink it. But the way she looked at me, I had to drink most of it to throw her off the scent. Then she wanted the tumbler back. So it is how Ravi is telling, Pati almost saw me drinking getting the glass of milk. So she was questioning me and I said that I am feeling hungry. So it is very difficult, right? It is very difficult. So I had to throw her off the scent. Throw her off the scent means what? Mislead her so that she won't understand the real purpose. So just misleading the person, throw her off the scent. So is misleading that person so that they do not know what is the real thing. So Ravi is telling the story to them. Pati, I'll wash it myself. Why should I put you to trouble? So I told her that Pati, when she was asking me the tumbler back, I said, no, I will wash it myself. Why are you troubling yourself? I had to run and pour the milk into this coconut shell and then run back and wash the tumbler and put it back before she got really suspicious. So before she even doubted the matter, I needed to put everything in place. Now we have to think of some other way to feed Mahendran. So what is the name of the kitten? The kitten is named as Mahendran. Mahendran? The little kitty's name is Mahendran? Mridu was impressed. It was a real name, not just a cute kitty cat name. So there is no kitty cat name, so it is a real name, Mahendran. Very nice. Actually, his full name is Mahendra Varma Pallava Punai. So that is what the full name is. MP Punai for short, if you like. So in South, what happens is they have these names in the short form. Okay. So that is how most of the South Indians will be named as APJ Abdul Kalam, SP Balasubramaniam and all those. So they have got their full name. So Mahendra Varma Pallava Punai will be named as MP Punai. Okay, like a lion's name. And you know what the emblem of the ancient Pallava kings was? Don't you? He looked expectantly at Mridu. So Mridu, he just looked at Mridu and said, don't you know what is the emblem of the Pallavas? Mridu giggled. Mridu was giggling. Giggling means slowly laughing. Okay, that is giggling. Okay, laughing in a soft voice. Think I am joking? Well, just wait. I'll show you sometime. It's clear you don't know a thing about history. Haven't been to Mahabalipuram, have you? He said mysteriously. He's telling Mridu that you have not even gone to Mahabalipuram. You don't know anything about the history. Okay, well, when our class went to Mahabalipuram, I saw a statue of his tatas, etc., etc., etc. Fact is, Mahendran here is descendant from that very same ancient cat. Okay, so he is telling that I saw his tatas means grandfathers, forefathers kind of a thing. So past. So the whole matter is that nothing that Mahendra is a descendant of that ancient cat. What is descendant? Descendant is the one who comes from the same family. Okay, a close relative, scientifically speaking, of none other than the lion. The Pallava lion, emblem of Pallava dynasty, Ravi went on, walking around the bitterberry bush, waving a twig up and down, his eyes sparkling. So he was telling them the story of, Ravi was telling them the story how Pallavas, what is the importance of Pallavas and all those. So this cat is a descendant of none other than the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. And if I may just remind you, they worshipped cat in ancient Egypt. So the cat is so important. See how he loved the sound of his own voice. Meena and Mridu exchanged looks. So they were not very happy. They just exchanged looks. What does that have to do with anything? Mridu demanded. So what is all these things having to do with anything? I am telling you, this cat is descended from Egyptian cat god. No goddess. Bastet. Yeah, that's it. So I am telling you something very important. He is a descendant. And Mridu is saying, so what? So okay, Ravi is like, well, one of the descendant of cat goddess was a stowaway in one of the Pallava ship. What do you mean by stowaway? Stowaway is someone who hides himself. So was hiding himself in the Pallava ship. And his descendant was the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat, whose descendant is Ravi. So Ravi flourished his twig at Mahendra. So he was just, he showed his twig and he went and showed Mahendra. MP Punai here. Whoop, eek. he shrieked, very pleased with himself. Mahendran looked up, alarmed. He had just been sharpening his claws on the edge of the coconut shell, but worse than Ravi's awful whoop, eek was screech from the window. What a weird sound! If Mridu had startled, MP Punai was frightened out of his wits. Here, standing on end, he bounced up and scurried towards a bamboo tree, that is, rushed towards a bamboo tray of red chilies that had been set out to dry. Trying to hide beneath it, he tipped few chilies over himself. Meow! He howled miserably because it was chilly. The creaking went on and down. What's that noise? Said Mridu. What's that noise? That's Lalli learning to play the violin, grunted Ravi. So Lalli was trying to play the violin. So when the violin is not working properly, there is a creaking sound that is happening. She'll never learn a thing. The music master just goes on playing like a train whizzing on and on, while Lalli's is all time derailing, going completely off track. So Lalli is not a good player of music. She cannot do anything. That is what Ravi went on saying. So Lalli, what is she trying to do? Rather, the musicians who are there, they keep on playing the play, they on and on as if it's a train whistling continuously. Okay, so that is what. So derailing is nothing but the music is off the track. Okay, next, Mridu crept up to the window. Lalli was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly holding her violin and bowstring, her elbows just jutting out and her eyes gazed with concentration. So she was very, very concentrated. Lalli was trying to do something very concentration. She had in one hand the violin, other hand the bowstring that she is trying to play. Okay, so this was the situation that was happening there. And what Mridu was just crept up the windows to see what is the scenery inside. Now in front of her, with most of his back to the window, was a bony figure. Bony figure means someone very slim. Bony figure of music master. He had a most bald head with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears. So around his ears was a very black oily hair and an old fashioned tuft. A gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck. So his neck there was a gold chain, and a diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glided up and down the stem of the violin. A large foot stuck out from beneath of his gold bordered veshti edge. Veshti is nothing but dhoti in Tamil. Okay, so it's a veshti, and he was beating time on floor with scrawny big toe. So there was a scrawny big toe was there, and he was just beating he was just having a beats by using the toe, tap tap kind of thing. And he played a few notes. Lalli stumbled behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. What a difference! The music master's notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody. It was like wheels of the train fitting smoothly into the rail and whistling along, as Ravi said. So as you know, Ravi was saying that it was completely in the rail, so it was like that. So it was so soft, so nice. Okay, and after that, Mridu stayed at the huge branched hand, moving effortlessly up the violin stem, making lovely music. So what was Mridu doing? Mridu was staring at the Berenged hand, what is berenged? Berenged is music master. The music master is wearing a ring, so it is a beringed hand. So it is with ring. So it is a ringed hand, beringed hand. She was watching. Okay. Squawk. That was Lully derailing again. So there was a sound squawk, and the Lully again got derailed off the track music. Amma, come away from the gate. Amma, oh. So, Amma, that is a mother, came away from the gate. So, she came from the gate. And then everyone said, Amma, oh. So, it's Amma. Ravi sent that beggar away, cried his mother, from the back of veranda, where she was chatting with Tapi. So, mother was telling Ravi, send that beggar away who has come. He had been coming here every day for the past week, and it's time he found another house to beg from, Pati explained to Tapi. So Pati explained Tapi that, he has been coming here for weeks together, so now he should go to another house. Mridu and Meena followed Ravi out. The beggar was already in the garden making himself quite at home. He had spread his upper cloth under the neem tree and was leaning against its trunk, apparently prepared to take a little snooze while he waited for the arms to appear. So, what did the beggar do? Beggar spread his upper cloth, the one he was wearing on the top. So, he took his upper cloth and he spread it underneath, and he leaned on the trunk of the tree. Apparently, like kind of, almost. Apparently means not exactly, but almost. Okay, apparently prepared to take a snooze. That is a short sleep. To take a snooze while he waited for the alms. Alms is whatever he is going to get out of begging. Okay, whatever he gets out of begging is known as alms. ALMS, alms. To prepare to appear, and so go away, said Ravi sternly. So Ravi came and said, go away. My party says it's time you found another house to beg from. So party is telling you find some other house to beg from. The beggar opened his eyes very wide and gazed at each of the children one by one. The ladies of this house, he said at last in a voice choked with feelings, are very kind souls. I kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week. I cannot believe that they would turn me away. So, beggar is telling, I don't believe that they would turn me away. The females or the ladies in this house are very kind. They allowed me to sit here, keep my body and soul together, so I am alive, I am able to beg, I am able to eat. All these things. He raised his voice. So Ravi is raising his hand. Amma, Amma. Sad his wail might be, but it certainly wasn't feeble. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in the withered belly and came booming out of his mouth, with its few remaining teeth stained brown with beetle chewing. So he was shouting, Amma, Amma, like that. Ravi, tell him there's nothing left in the kitchen. So the Amma from inside was telling, so Rukumani was telling, called Rukumani. So Rukumani told Ravi that, Ravi, say him that there is nothing in the kitchen and he is not to come again. Tell him that. She sounded fed up. Ravi didn't have to repeat it all to the beggar because she was very loud. Beggar already heard it. What his mother said had been easy for them all to hear. There under the neem tree, the beggar sat up and sighed. So sighed is tell with some kind of relief. Sighed. Okay, I'll go, he said wearily. That is very much depressed. He said wearily. That is very much depressed, very much hurt. He said, I'll go. Only let me have a rest here under this tree. The sun is so hot, the tar has melted on the ground. My feet are already blistered. Blistered are some kind of boils that happens in the feet if you are getting burned. That's known as blistered. He stretched out his feet to show the large pink peeling blisters on the soles of his bare foot. I suppose he doesn't have the money to buy chappals, Mridu whispered to Meena Ravi. So Meena and Ravi's Mridu is telling, see, he doesn't have money to buy chappals. Okay, have you got an old pair in the house somewhere? So, is there any old pair of chappals? I don't know, said Ravi. Mine are too small to fit his feet, or I'd have given them to him. And his feet were larger than Mridu and Meena's, so no one's chappal would fit him. The beggar was shaking out his upper cloth and tightening his dhoti. He raised his eyes and looked fearfully at the road, gleaming in afternoon heat. So he just took everything. He took the upper cloth, put it on, and then he raised his eyes and he just saw towards the road. The road was very fearful because it was gleaming in the afternoon heat. It is shining due to the heat. Okay. He needs something on his feet, Meena said, her big eyes filling. It's not fair. See, it's not fair. So it was completely filling up due to sadness that he needs something, okay, to wear. Shh, said Ravi. I'm thinking about it. Blubbering. It's not fair. It's going to help. In 2 minutes, he'll be frying his feet on the road. What he needs is a pair of chappals. So where do we get them? Come, let's search the house. He pushed Mridu and Meena into the house. So they all went to the house to look for a pair of chappals. Just as she stepped into the veranda, Mridu's eyes fell on the odd-looking chappals. Okay, she had noticed when she arrived. Ravi, she whispered to him. Whose are those? Ravi turned and glanced at the shabby-looking but sturdy old slippers. He beamed and nodded. They are just the right size, he said. Picking them up, Mridu and Meena followed him nervously back into the garden. So they took the chappals and they went back into the garden. Here, said Ravi to the beggar, dropping the slippers in front of the old man. Wear this and don't come back. The beggar stared at the slippers, hurriedly flung his towel, took his towel over his shoulder, pushed his feet into them and left. So he left by muttering a blessing to the children. In a minute, he had vanished around the corners of the street. The music master came out of the house and took an unappreciative look at the three of them. So they looked not very happy. Unappreciated look at three of them sitting quietly under the tree playing marbles. Then he searched for his chappals in the veranda where he had put them. So he was searching for his chappals. Lalli, he called. After a few minutes, she hurried up to him. She came hurriedly. Have you seen my chappals, my dear? I remember having kept them here. So I remember that I kept the chappals here. It's not here. Ravi, Mridu and Meena silently watched Lalli and the music master search every corner of veranda. He scurried around, looking over the railing, crouching near the flower pots to look between them. So scurried means he just looked over the railing, that is, getting into height. Crouching is bending down to search. Okay, brand new they were. I went all the way to Mount Road to buy them, he went on saying. They cost a whole month's fees, do you know? Soon Lalli went in to tell her mother. Rukkumani appeared, looking harassed, with party following her. So everyone is coming out because master's chappal is not there. Music master's chappal is not there. Where could they be? It was really quite upsetting to think someone might have stolen them. So many vendors came to their door, worried party. Rukumani caught sight of Ravi, Mridu, and Meena sitting under the tree. Have you children? She began. And then, seeing they were curiously quiet, went on slowly. Seen anyone lurking around the veranda? Did you see anyone who was waiting here in the veranda and all those? A sharp V-shaped line had formed between the eyebrows. So sharp V-shaped lines forming in the eyebrows are because they were just questioning out of curiosity, that is doubting the action. Another straight, tighter one appeared in the place of her usually soft, pleasant mouth. Rukumani was angry, thought Mridu with a shiver. She wouldn't be so upset if she knew about the poor beggar with sores on the feet, she tried to tell herself. So, I think Rukumani will not say anything if I say that I have given to the beggars. Taking a deep breath, Mridu started crying. She cried, Rukumani, there was a beggar here. Poor thing, he had such boils on his feet. So he was telling, beggar had so many boils. So, said Rukumani grimly, turning to Ravi, you gave the music master's chappals to that old beggar who turns up here. So what do you think? You gave your this master's slippers, master's chappals? Children these days, groan party. So there was a groaning. The party was telling in a very soft and serious voice. Children these days. Amma, didn't you tell me about Karna who gave away everything he had, even his gold earrings? He was so kind and generous. So, Amma, didn't you tell me the story there of Karna who, gave away everything that he had? Silly, snapped Rukumani. Karna didn't give, Karna didn't give away other people's things. He gave away his own. So, Rukumani is telling, don't be silly. Karna gave away what was his matters. He did not give others. You gave master slippers. So she started telling, but my chappals wouldn't have fitted the beggar's feet. Ravi rushed brashly on. And if they did fit, would you really not have minded? So don't you think that you would have minded if I would have given him my chappals, not master's chappals? Ravi, said Rukumani, very angry now. Go inside this minute. So, go inside the house. She hurried indoors and brought out Gopu Mama's hardly worn new chappals. These should fit you, sir. Please put these on. I'm so sorry. My son have been very naughty. So, was saying the music master, my son is very naughty. Please, I'm really sorry about it. The music master's eye lit up. He put them on, trying not to look too happy. Well, I suppose these will have to do. These days, children have no respect for elders. What to do? A Hanuman incarnate. Only Rama can save such naughty fellow. So, the master was also grilling, was growling all around, was chattering, saying that only Rama can help. They are so naughty. They are like Hanuman. They are the incarnate. They are the rebirth of Hanuman only. So they have no respect for elders and all those things. Anyway, that worn out chappal was gone, but the master got a very new chappal. Rukumani's eyes flashed. She didn't seem to like Ravi being called a monkey. Okay, Hanuman is basically a monkey. So, a monkey, even a holy monkey. She stood stiff and straight by the front door. It was clear she wanted him to leave quickly. When he had clattered off his new chappals, she said, Mridu, come in and have some tiffin. Honestly, how do you children think of such things? Now, she was saying, how do you even think of such things? Thank God your Gopu Mama doesn't wear his chappals to work. As she walked towards the kitchen with Mridu and Meena, she suddenly began to laugh. Okay, she started laughing. And she said, but he's always in such a hurry to throw off his shoes and socks and get into his chappals as soon as he comes home. What's your mama going to say this evening when I tell him I gave his chappals to the music master? So it's a very funny matter that is happening. Now, what is your mama going to say when I say that I have given chappals to the music master? So what is going to happen? I don't know. So that's it with this chapter. Thank you.